welcome back to another video. So this week I'm going to be doing an illustration that I was hired to do by a colleague of mine, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to talk about my process for commissions while illustrating what's technically a commission. So I wanted to divide, this video is about 15 minutes long, so I can't talk about it for as much as I want to talk about it, but I wanted to cover a couple topics involving me and commissions, and if anything is interesting to you that you want to hear about more in detail, let me know in the comments below and I'll make a separate video for that. So the first thing that I want to talk about involving commissions is going to be how I started doing commissions and what I thought was good and what I thought was bad about that. The second thing that I want to talk about doing commissions is how I do them now and what's my process, and within that category I want to speak a little bit about how I consider doing illustration type, the things that you see me draw on my YouTube channel, stuff like that, different from the quote-unquote freelance work that I do, more just pure design based, like logos, banners, posters, that kind of stuff. That's more just graphic design and not so much illustration. I'm uploading, even though this was more in the freelance category, the illustration I'm drawing right now, because my client wanted something that's basically in a chibi style, even though he didn't know what a chibi style is, I don't think. I figured it's chibi enough, it's digital art enough, that it will work for my content. It's a logo for their drag event organizing company, so they just wanted their drag personas, the drag queen personas, in these chibi forms on top of a desk with their name under it, so that's what I'm drawing. But to talk about how I started doing commissions, I started posting my art on DeviantArt when I was 11 or 12 years old, and through posting my art on DeviantArt, I had a couple of people just ask for requests, and I did requests now and then eventually I figured that DeviantArt has this point economic system, so you can trade points back and forth, and the points you can use to buy special things on DeviantArt, or later on eventually they got the ability to make points back into money, because the original way to make points is to pay money to acquire the points, and later on, I think in 2012, 2013 or something like that, they allowed you to do the reverse of changing points back into money through PayPal. But anyway, so I started doing commissions really cheap. I would I think the exchange rate was roughly $1 to every 100 points, and I would do a full body illustration for around $1. But this was back when I was 13, 14, I think is when I first started doing my first couple commissions on DeviantArt, and I think that's actually a good thing. I know it's severely undercharging versus hour of work, but it was in the same genre of illustration that I enjoyed doing otherwise. It was just drawing basically anime characters, or original characters in an anime style sort of thing. So I felt it wasn't a bad thing to undercharge, because it was still in the same genre, but it was different enough where I felt I was spreading my wings a little bit by drawing characters I normally wouldn't draw, by drawing styles I normally wouldn't draw. And the way that I organized that was I had a kind of a journal. That's what they got, basically a list of, okay, so I charge this much for just the head, I charge this much for a chibi style, I charge this much for a full body, I'll charge extra if there's more characters, I'll charge extra if there's background, all that kind of stuff. And people could go on my page and find that note, see how much I charged, and then send me a note. And even though I was making literally $1 per every 10 hours of work, roughly speaking, when I first started out, it was, I think, good experience, because it gave me a lot of experience just talking in terms of, okay, I am the service provider and this is a client and I'm producing something for them. So from an early age, it got me really used to this sort of business interaction kind of email and communicating, all that kind of stuff. So I appreciate, even though I wasn't making anything worth of money, the experience that it gave me in terms of opening my wings for illustration, and as well as all the communications growth I went through. And I would recommend, if you're a younger artist and if you're on a website like DeviantArt, to do these small, very strictly speaking cheap commissions. And back then I didn't really have to have a debit card or a bank account or anything like that, because I just worked within the points economy of DeviantArt. And all of the money that I ended up making for my first 100 150 commissions. This was before you could like exchange back the points into money. I ended up spending on getting commissions from other artists. So I also had experience being a client, and this wasn't because I needed to use the artwork for anything. I like the artwork that I'm doing right now in the video it's a logo basically. It's a very elaborate kind of logo, but it's going to be used on merch. It's on like the Facebook page, on their Instagrams and all that. Like it's being used actively for like a business. The commissions that I got from other artists on DeviantArt, I didn't use for anything. So it's like, oh, I would love to see my character in this person's style, so let's do that. And I don't know, it was just like an interesting sort of thing, and I did end up sort of outgrowing it. Like I still find there's a lot of value in commissioning people to draw stuff, like characters, just because you want to see it. And I do still commission people every now and then, but in the sphere of like charging what I used to charge, I do continue to, when it's like a friend or when it's something that a project that I would like to do anyway, I do sort of charge less than I would for something that is, you know, a banner or a poster or like a very more graphic design type of logo that isn't within the sphere of illustration. But I don't do commissions in that way anymore. Over the course of I think like 3 to 4 years on DeviantArt, I was steadily raising my prices, and by the time that I started charging $20 for a full body, I really didn't get that much business because people on DeviantArt just really couldn't afford it. It's like there's more young people than old people, and at that point I was 17, 18 sort of thing, and to me spending 4-5 hours to earn $3 really wasn't worth it anymore, even though it was fun and good experience and all that. I just felt like I was at the point where I should start valuing my time a little bit more when it comes to like this. Like if I want to draw somebody a gift for free, or if I want to accept a request at something, but if it's between charging $2, giving it for free, and charging $20, charging $2 is the last option. Like I'd rather give it for free because I want to, or charge a reasonable price for it, than undercharge myself by that large of a margin. So, but that's, at that point I'd done over 200 to 250 commissions in that same style. So I felt like it was the natural progression. It's not something that I would have felt, because I see a lot of artists nowadays just from the get-go, from the point where they are, where I was at when I first started doing commissions, charging $20 to $30 for their artwork. And I respect it a lot that they've, at that young in the age, they feel like their time is that valuable. Like I really do respect it. I just sort of question whether they end up getting as much business as I did when I was younger at that stage, because I was charging basically nothing. And so it's kind of a trade-off. Like you get more money for the things that you do, but you get less business, so therefore you get less experience. But yeah, that was basically my start at doing commissions. You like, if you do find my DeviantArt, there might be some old journals still up that have like my old prices or whatever, but I don't work off of those anymore. And if you are interested in commissioning me, like the way that I do things now, I have like 2 different methods. One is like the quote-unquote online method, where I do commission work for like fan art, illustrations, your original characters, all that kind of stuff, the things that I've been doing for all this time. And then there's the more like actual professional freelance business side of things. So I've done a couple pieces of work for some companies, and in that case I have like a contract template that I make people sign. I have like business emails, I have an invoice app, so it's all like very quote-unquote professional speaking, because when you're working with larger businesses, or even just like people who have to leave a paper trail, you also as a freelancer have to be held accountable for that paper trail. So that's why there's contracts, there's invoicing and all that, and it's very complicated. But because there's all this bureaucracy, you're basically charging, as well as for the illustration, you're charging for the service fee, you're charging for your own communication times, for your like formatting type things time. So I end up earning a lot more money from doing boring posters, logos, banners, that kind of stuff, just because there's so much bureaucracy also involved in it, than I do from illustrations. But the trade-off is I don't enjoy doing banners, posters, that kind of stuff as much as I do an illustration. So it's also kind of, I call it an affection discount, or this is in my realm of interest discount. So I don't feel like I charge as much as I could based on my skill level, but I feel like it's a fair trade, because I feel like I'm also getting things out of it through doing commission illustrations. So the way that I do commission illustrations nowadays is basically you just have to DM me or email me or contact me, and then we can talk about it, and I'll listen to what you want, and then I'll give you a quote on how much I would charge. And it depends on how busy I am at the time, how elaborate's your idea, how much I feel like your idea might require many like edits throughout the process. When I first started doing commissions, like people would say, here's my character, I want just the from the shoulders up, and I'd say, okay, it costs this much. Then they would pay me, and then I would draw it, and then I would post it, and that was it. Then later on, when I started doing more elaborate things and I started charging more for it, it became a little bit more of an involved process, and I got less people that were also artists hiring me. They were more like writers and stuff like that, so they didn't have like a singular like reference sheet for their character. They were kind of hiring me to do the reference sheet in a sense. So there was a lot more back and forth, and there was like sending progress shots, and some people who I'm like friends with, they want to be surprised, so they don't want to see progress shots before the thing is done. But when I'm in a professional setting, I do feel it's an obligation to at the very least offer to send progress shots to make sure you're on the right track, because the worst thing is when you've put like many hours in polishing and finishing something and they're like, oh no, it was meant to look more like this, and then you have to like start basically from, you know, when you were 20% done from when you were fully done. So it's more smart to send work in progress shots to your clients to make sure you're on the right track, to make sure they're happy with it, to bring up concerns as they arise rather than at the end. But yeah, that's all part of like the service sort of thing. So that's also involved in I'm charging a little bit more than I was when I began, so therefore I should offer more than just like the illustration. It's the experience of hiring me as an illustrator. But yeah, nowadays I don't do too many commissions. That's mainly because I don't like advertise them at all. I don't have anywhere that you can go to like see my prices, see my examples. You kind of just have to find me, and if you like, it takes more interest in like wanting to specifically hire me to draw something to think of, oh yeah, let's hire her, if I don't say it anywhere that I do accept commissions. But even then, it's like harder to just like contact me when you have like less of a frame of reference, if you have no idea what my price range is sort of thing. And even then, I don't know if I can even just say a price range off the top of my head. So like it's hard to explain it, because it all depends on the project itself and how busy I am at the time and how much it interests me, how much I charge. So yeah, I should also mention that I do not make my living off of illustrations, commissions, freelance, that kind of stuff. I consider it a supplement to my income and stuff like that, because my primary focus is to continue my own self-growth, so like doing things like Inktober and keeping up my weekly YouTube videos, and then also school. Like school takes up like 90% of my like focus time, and then after that I just need like relaxation time type of thing. So yeah, it should be noted that I'm not a full-time illustrator, freelancer, or anything like that. I am an illustrator and a freelancer, but not full-time. It's more of a supplement. And yeah, another thing that I should note is that a lot of people who do accept commissions and make videos, they consider the YouTube video making aspect as well as the freelance making aspect, both halves of the income. But I don't make any money off of my YouTube as of right now, so the YouTube stuff really is just because I like it and I want to and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's basically my approach to freelance commissions. There's a lot of stuff that's gone on throughout my life that has changed my mentality around it, but I still consider it an all-around good thing. And the most valuable thing to me about doing freelance illustration and stuff like that isn't necessarily earning money off your art, but it's more of a validating thing, because if somebody's willing to pay for the craft that you've honed yourself on, then that means that like you're on the right track sort of. And there's a lot of like luck involved in terms of like other versions of getting validated for being a content creator or an artist or whatever, and that a lot of it at this point involves like social media and just people noticing it and saying that they like it. But that, I feel, because of the way that the algorithms on YouTube, on Instagram, on stuff like that, of the way that the algorithms are at this point in time, that it doesn't reflect like how much attention you get. It doesn't reflect your skill level. It reflects more of how well you play the algorithm and how lucky you got. Meanwhile, when a single person says that they like their art enough to pay you to do something for them, I feel like that's a lot less luck related and a lot more, okay, this is the level that your skills are at. So yeah, overall, I do really enjoy doing freelance work and commissions. I don't think I would be able to do just freelance stuff full time, because I feel like at that point I would just sort of be a slave to the work. I like the luxury of not needing to accept every single commission I get because I need it financially. I like the freedom of being able to charge less for something that I find I care about, or to somebody who is like a very frequent commissioner. A lot of you will know that I do a lot of freelance work for Dark Petal 16, who she writes a lot of fan fiction. She writes an original novel series called Magic of Dawn that I've done a lot of art for, and all that kind of stuff. Like I like the luxury of being able to charge her less because she hires me so often, because I'm not relying on that income to feed myself, sort of thing. And then on the flip side, if it's like not a big business, if it's a like mid-tier local business that I know that they have, you know, like $20,000 marketing budget, I don't mind charging a little bit more. But yeah, that's basically the video. I hope you like it. Let me know what you think of the final drag queen logo thing, and what experiences you have with commissions and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and also really do let me know if you any of these topics were very interesting to you, so you would like me to do like a follow-up video talking more about it. But yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next week.